my life.
Lovely. Today's Monday, July 11th. This is Finance Committee for the Village of Golf Manor. If I may start with a roll call of committee members.
Mr. Betcher.
Here.
Mr. Knipp.
Here.
Ms. Norman. Absent. Ms. Snyder.
Here.
All committee members are present except for Ms. Norman.
Is there a motion to excuse Ms. Norman? All right. Everybody had.
So that just gets noted, there was
No
no
motion.
motion.
I've not heard from her, so. Set the motion and set the agenda and adopt. I have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Nobody registered to address the committee with minutes from June 13th. They have a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. New business with Mr. Hurth with the tax budget.
Yeah, we've got lots of fun stuff. So I'm not everybody was here for the tax budget description. So I'm not gonna go through that again in this committee. All of the notes are in the tax budget public hearing minutes. What I would like to do, if I may, is go through the Q2 appropriations adjustment. So at council this evening in Mr. Donovan's section, we will be recommending the following 2022 appropriations adjustments be made for the second quarter. In Fund 2908, which is the Public Safety Appreciation Fund, we are increasing revenue and appropriations by $4,000. In Fund 2151, which is the ARPA funding account, we're increasing revenue by $187,242, so it's $187,242. That is previously received ARPA monies that did not get appropriated at the last time we did appropriations. So that is as I was mentioning in the previous meeting, we have the money, it's sitting there until council says we can spend it, it just has to sit there. So we are ready at this point in time to start paying off some of the commitments or paying on some of the commitments that we've made for that funding. Fund 2904, the street levy, we are reducing appropriations down to $230,000. The reason being, at this point in time, it's looking unlikely that we're going to be doing all of the road projects that we had planned for this year. We do have bids for Elbrook, but they came in $150,000 over anticipated cost. Part of that is because of delays that are being created by the waterworks section of the project. And Mr. Donovan, our road engineer, and I will be having a discussion sometime this week or next week. We need to reach out to the Cincinnati Waterworks and try to figure out what's going on with them, because they want us to eat the entire cost of the overrun. And I don't think that's fair. So we may or may not do that project this year. The 2101 permissive motor vehicle license tax fund, that is moving. You may remember before Mr. Lanzer left, we created that fund. That's now funding that fund with $29,474. So that'll make the auditor sleep better at night that that's there. And then finally, the general fund, Fund 1000, we are increasing that account for the chiller by an additional $15,000. So we had originally appropriated $65,000 for the chiller. The actual project is coming in close to $79,000. So this makes up for the difference in cost. Any questions? Okay. How about the financial packet? So, for the month of June, fiscal year 22, the village had a bank balance of $3,536,552. Of this amount, $3,421,325 can be found in the village's primary checking account, while the balance resides in several village dedicated funds. The village had 31 outstanding payments that totaled $26,694. The village cleared 86 payments totaling $264,923. Of this amount, $213,418 was accounted for in the village's general fund. This figure was $41,315 more than what the village had spent during June and fiscal year 21. The increase in spend is attributed to new payments required to be made to Deer Park Silverton per the service agreement between the village and DPS. The top 5 payments for the month were payroll, Deer Park Silverton, Rumpke, the Ohio Police and Fire Pension Fund, and the Jefferson Health Plan. As for village receipts, we received 34 payments in June that totaled $312,332. Of this amount, $281,089 was accounted for in the village's general fund. The figure was $108,670. That is the incorrect number. What was that addressed to?
$103,840.
103,840. We'll correct this in the minutes. That figure was 103,840 more than what the village received in June of fiscal year 21, accounted for by receipts by the Little Miami Fire District. So if you remember, we're getting additional income from Little Miami now because they are a pass-through for the levy receipts that we're collecting from the 14.05 mils. That will all disappear in January. The village received approximately $95,525 in income tax receipts for the month.
It's also it's 137,695.
I'm sorry, what was that?
137,695.
137,695. Okay, so we received 137,695 in income tax receipts. That is the financial packet. Any questions?
From the committee? Nothing? Great. Great work on your last financial packet.
Say that again.
Is that going to be your last financial packet?
It is. And I have to say, Anna and Eric put together the financial packet for the month of June, so thank you for doing that. The employee salary range revisions are necessary because of some recruitment issues that we've run into trying to secure good candidates for the police department. And also with the economy doing the crazy things that the economy is doing right now, we needed to be in a position to, that's not where I want to go. We needed to be in a position to be able to retain and secure good recruits and maintain our staffing. So one of the things that we want to make sure, as I mentioned previously in the budget meeting, is we're investing in people this year. And I'm looking for, I can't talk and do this at the same time. I wanted to show you. So in your packet, there was legislation. Now the packet, the number of the ordinances are a little bit different than what Mr. Donilon is presenting this evening. But the salary ranges account for all of the various full-time and part-time positions in the village. One of the major changes we made this year is we've eliminated part-time positions. Not that we don't have part-time people, but after we started taking a look at what the marketplace held in terms of value for part-time positions, it's the same value. The difference is if you become full-time, you have a host of benefits that you're available to, in addition to your pension pickup reimbursement, in addition to longevity pay and those kinds of things. So we have the administration, which would be the administrator, the fiscal officer / assistant administrator, financial operations manager, and the administrative clerk. One of the things that I've programmed into this, the fiscal officer, assistant administrator position, that was one job. This is envisioned as being an overlay for two positions if at any time we want to expand and go back to having an assistant administrator. So the work has been done to create the salary for this position. There is no job description at this point. And this, if we ever decide to do that, that's something we'll talk to the executive committee about and then come back and talk to finance. But it's there for comparative reasons. In the police department, we have the chief, a level 2 command position, which we can call an assistant chief or a captain. We're still talking about that. We have the police lieutenant position, the police sergeant position, patrol officers, and the police clerk. Notice one of the changes we're making in most communities and professionally, the police chief and the higher command positions in the department are exempt from overtime. So we're laying that into the police chief, the level 2 command position, and the lieutenant, because the sergeant, am I making you dizzy by moving that? Making me dizzy. The police sergeant position really is considered a road position, so we're leaving the non-exempt status to that position. Now, what this means for the other 3 positions is that if they do reimbursed overtime, which is Marshall reimbursed overtime, Ohio reimbursed overtime, and DEA reimbursed overtime, and we have acronyms for all of that, those positions are eligible because that's reimbursed back to us. Then we get down to code enforcement, which I'm envisioning becoming part of the service department. Right now it's part of the administration. The code enforcement official and the public works manager would be 2 similar positions. The code enforcement official is currently a part-time position. The public works manager would be a replacement for the Andy Lanzer half of his job where he supervised the maintenance department. What I envision that position being, and we'll talk with the executive committee about this, I've actually started a job description. That position would also be a liaison to some of the outside services that we use, such as Greater Cincinnati Water Works, the Metropolitan Sewer District, the road engineer, all of the services where that department is out on the road and knows what's going on wherever. So that is in here. That position does not currently exist, but it's here in the ranges. And then finally, the maintenance lead, the maintenance associate. And then we have our maintenance associate unskilled labor, which we can say that the minimum wage at Gulf Manor is $15.25 an hour. And unskilled labor, we will pay up to $20.06.
We know the mayor's happy about that minimum wage. When was just refresh my memory, the last time we updated these was 2019, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about 3% annually, that would be over the last, 3 years, be at 12%, we're adjusting 6%. So we're not making any crazy moves.
Correct.
Just kind of making ourselves more competitive.
So what we want to do, it's basically what we can and can't afford.
Right.
So we looked at the marketplace in terms of what positions in similar positions and communities we're making. To the chagrin of Chief Campbell, what a Westchester officer makes is not what somebody in this community our size makes. However, I think we have some anecdotal evidence that increasing our salary range for our police officers, it was started at 17 something previously and went up to 25. Well, our opening point now is 25 and goes up to 35. What we're trying to do is also make sure that if We have long-term people. We want to make sure that they have the ability to grow in their salary along with their career. And the way you manage these ranges, and let's pick somebody here. Let's go to a police officer, to a patrol officer. So you may recall we used to have a step system that if an officer worked 0 to 3 years, there was an exact amount of money that they made. And if they worked 4 to 5 years, there was an exact amount of money that they made. Performance reviews were not taken into consideration of longevity. What we converted to when we went to salary ranges was experience guidelines. And this isn't just experience at Gulf Manor, this is overall experience in your career. So if we have a high caliber candidate for a police officer position who has 5 to 8 years experience in another municipality, we should be able to take a look at them, bringing them in at a rate of $30,000 as opposed to $30 an hour as opposed to 25. It gives us some flexibility. That just is driving me nuts. It gives us some flexibility when it comes to trying to bring high caliber people into the fold. The other piece of this is making sure that we manage people based on the number of years that they've been here, trying to keep in this guideline. So really when we're looking at salaries, we budget for the center of the range. Now there's going to be people who are way above, people who are below. Each of the opening points start at the bottom of the range because that allows us the ability that if someone's not performing, they just don't get an increase. One of the things that we have employed in the past, and we've not really gotten to the point of doing this, but if somebody doesn't qualify for a merit increase at the time they get the review, if within 6 months we go back and take a look at them again and they've increased their performance and meets expectation, we'll go back and take a look at making an adjustment. Questions?
Good.
Yep, makes sense.
Good.
Okay,
Do you need a recommendation from us to move this to council for
that'd be perfect.
recommend that? We move that to council. Motion to move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
A motion for movement.
Couldn't have said it better. All right. For the point of brevity of heading into full council, I think that is the end of our agenda. Is there anything else? I know that we said start funding will move to next month. Okay. Only other announcement is August 15th at 6:30 is our next finance committee. Other than that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, and we are still live.